As part of this cultural congregation, I would like to start with the recitation of the soul of Vedic culture, the Gayatri Mantra. Gayatri is considered as the divine force behind this whole creation and the motherly power that by killing our evil tendencies guides us to the righteous path, the path of wisdom, the path of pure intellect. And she could be reached by this piece of Vedic mantra. So I'm going to ask you to do a little exercise. Please sit erect, close your eyes, and feel that with the vibrations of every word, the energy of the rising sun is pouring through your bodies. For the people who can sing the Gayatri Mantra, they can sing it with me. Om Bhur Bhuvaha Swaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Naha Prachodayat. In the subtle presence of Param Pujya Gurudev and Paramvandaniya Mataji, I would like to start by greeting those seated on the dais. Speaker of the Uttarakhand Vidhan Sabha, Harvansh Kapoor ji, Swami Tilkanand ji, who gave a wonderful discourse, Elizabeth Rao from Mayan tradition, and all the relatives here from various countries representing 17 cultures and different countries. Dear friends, we live in the most critical times in the history of mankind. As human beings, as a complexly evolved biological species, we have progressed significantly. If you look at the last century, then only in the field of science and technology, we have progressed like never before. We have conquered the space, landed on the moon, developed the medicines for the diseases that we never heard before. But this progress, this growth, this development, it came at a cost. It came at a cost of our social, psychological, emotional purity, clarity, and sanctity. Look at us now. We are a bunch of disintegrated individuals, broken families, fractured societies, a disillusioned force of human nature. And this cost is too dear to pay. And when we look for the solutions, when we look for a right direction from this location where we are stuck now, and we don't have a GPS to guide us, then the word that comes to our minds is culture. Not the culture that we otherwise know, not the culture that is superficially defined, not the culture that is called as the shared goals and practices that are geographically related. No, we're not talking about the culture of India. We're not talking about the culture of Latvia. We're not talking about the culture of Latin America. We're talking about something deeper. The Hindi or Sanskrit equivalent of culture is Sanskriti. And that means something pure. That means something pristine. That means something deeper. That means something valuable. That means something significant. And I would try to make an attempt to make an understanding of Sanskriti from a Vedic perspective. Sanskriti, the Vedic equivalent of culture, actually means refinement. It means purification. A refined individual is called Susanskrit. And this process of refinement, this process of purification is called Sanskriti. And this takes into account every single aspect of the human personality, his appearance and behavior, his thinking, his emotions, his feelings, but above all, his dedication to stick to the right principles, right values, and ethics. Vedas, they say that culture cannot be of one person, and it should not be of one person. It cannot be for one country, it cannot be for one race. It is for everyone. It is universal. And this universality is what Vedas are talking about. And this takes into account the characteristics, the attributes, the values that define a human being as a human being. What would make one person kind and noble in one culture should make the same person kind and noble in the other culture. And according to the Vedas, Gandhi would belong to the same culture to which the Martin Luther King, Nelson Mandela, Kagaba, they all would belong to the same culture. Vedas announce, Ayam nijah paroveti ganana laghu chetasam udar charita nam tu vasudhaiva kutumbakam. Only for the people who have got narrow minds. They have got this tendency, they have got this attitude of this is mine and that is yours. Only for them. But for the people who have got big hearts, for the people who have got culture, for the people who have got the right values and ethics, for them, this whole world is their extended family. Udara charita nam tu vasudhaiva kutumbakam. This whole world is a big family. Culture that we otherwise know is similar to sabhyata, is similar to civilization. The external appearance of an individual and a society. And it becomes culture. This sabhyata becomes Sanskriti when it meets dharma. We're not talking about religion. When we say dharma, we're talking about, again, something valuable. Upanishads define dharma as yato abhyudaya nishreya siddhe sadharma. We're talking about that element that guides me, you, and everyone else to the path of enlightenment, to the path of purification, to the path of absolute perfection. That is dharma. And that culture is called as the divine culture. That culture is called as the Vedic culture. And it's not a coincidence that we have this international cultural conference discussing the nourishing the balance of the universe in this University of the India, which is called as the Divine Culture University, Dev Sanskriti University. And it's not a divine culture only for the sake of saying. For us, all of you, does not matter that which background you came from, does not matter that which family did you take birth in, does not matter that where did you travel from, but for us, you are part of our family. You are part of this tradition, and you would always remain so. Interestingly, the word university also has got a unique meaning in Hindi. It means Vishwa Vidyalaya. Vishwa means world, and Vidyalaya means an academic institution. An academic institution for the whole world, not for one group, not for one country, not for one culture, not for one race. Nobody can claim their full authority on education. And similarly, culture cannot be of one person. It cannot belong to one race. It cannot belong to one nation. It is for everyone. It is universal. Coincidentally, we are sitting in this Divine Culture University. We are sitting in Dev Sanskriti Vishwa Vidyalaya. And the motto of this Vishwa Vidyalaya is Sa Prathama Sanskritir Vishwara. Founder of this university, a groundbreaking scholar, he wrote more than 3,200 books, a great philosopher, a divine being, Pandit Shriram Sharma, about one single family under one roof, long before we imagined. 1943, in his legendary address, he not only talked about having one single culture, but he also gave the strategies for it. He talked about ekta, unity. We need to be united. If we keep on working in different nations, in different attitudes, in different mindsets, then we cannot reach to a conclusion. This is the forum to be united. He talked about samata, equality, that there should be no discrimination. He talked about mamata, harmony. And he talked about shuchita, divinity, that unless we have got the divine principles in our heart, we cannot reach to a common point. as the founding principles of a new society. Dear friends, culture is not a simple term. It's not a simple term. It's a force like air, fire, and water. Air cannot be divided. Sunlight is for everyone, and clouds rain for everyone too. So as human beings, we cannot be separated. We cannot be categorized. We cannot be divided. What we need to learn from this conference, apart from having academic discussions, is that there is a lot of the things that are common in us. We have got values, we have got emotions, we have got feelings that connect us, regardless of the language. We saw it this morning, that the people, they did prayers in different languages belonging to different culture, and everyone felt equal power, equal force, and felt connected to it. No need of language. I'm going to end by quoting Paul Watson, a famous anthropologist, and when he was asked that what does he think his role in the humanities is, and he said a very beautiful thing. He said, in the grand scheme of things, it does not matter how long do we live. It does not matter. But it matters. What do we live for? What are we united for? What do we stand for? And what are we going to die for? So let us be united, shoulder to shoulder, for now and for forever. Thanks.